Yo, I'm not even sure if this is streaming live yet, but I just had to jump in and do the thing, do the damn thing. Let me see. I think I need to go into my. I need to go do one of my settings. The stuff I just wanted to address real quick, guys. Just give me a second. Give me a second to just set up. And then it's a quick live stream. Yeah, okay. I am live. I am live. All right, awesome. Yeah. So what is it that I wanted to address actually, and why did I go live? So here's the thing. I know some of you have been seeing me on A-listers, and I've gone head to head with Jay on some things as regards to like the Vinnie deal and all that. And at no point did I think I went over the top with my take on Vinnie, because I never even said Vinnie was coming. I always said, hey, if it happens, it happens. I always said, oh, I think Vinnie would stay at Madrid, but I think I would be mad at my club if they saw an opportunity and they did not attempt to try at least, because what's the point of not trying? Like you might as well try and get rejected. I said all of that on the stream, but for some reason, I think Jay didn't understand what I was saying, or he chose not to understand, or he chose to understand and chose to say whatever, do whatever he wants. But here's the part that got me. I started seeing videos, right? And one of the videos that I saw was a video from Commentary FK, right? And Commentary FK was like, "Oh yeah, Jay was right." The first time I saw this particular video, I just laughed about it. I was like, yeah, it don't matter to me. If everybody has an opinion on who you think is right or who you don't, or who's right or who's wrong. But at the same time, if you don't listen to both parties, then you don't understand what they're both arguing about. I was simply talking about the fact that in my club, in Arsenal, I'm happy that at least the entire hierarchy are now on the same page, which for me was important, because as a club, you all have to agree. Now, you can plug in any player you want at the end of it. You can plug in Barcola, or you can plug in the smallest player, the young player, Monga that we missed. You can plug in any player. My thing is, for everybody to be in alignment, that makes me happy about my club. Now, whichever player you choose to go for, then that's a different conversation. And on the Vinny conversation, I said clearly, so I'm going to go by time code. I'm going to start at 33 minutes and 57, which is where the first question was asked of me, what I thought about it. And this was where Hussam started by saying this. Let's see if my desktop audio is coming in.
If it happens, it happens, man.
Well, that's why I started from. So I want you guys to listen to this.
We all know when Flawless goes to the cinema what it takes.
Just listen to the question and listen to my response and tell me whether this is me being gassed up.
Speaking of cinema, it's gonna be cinema at the Emirates.
Hold on, guys, hold on. I'm going to bring myself back on the screen real quickly. And then I'm going to shrink myself real quickly and just put myself in the corner here. Oh, snap. I did the wrong thing. So give me a second. I'm going to do this real quick. I know that you're seeing. Yeah. Sorry, Lewis. I'm going to cover you at the bottom here. I'm just going to be right here. Okay. And then I'm going to transition that. Yeah. So I'm going to sit at the corner. I'm at the bottom right here. I'm sorry, Lewis. I had to cover you. So now I'm going to play that clip again. And I want you guys to tell me.
Speaking of cinema, it's gonna be cinema at the Emirates if Vinnie joins Arsenal. Dio, talk to the people, bro.
Man, I mean, hey, if it happens, it happens, man.
Oh, that's so boring.
No. Let me finish. I said
don't even want to be part of the show anymore, man.
If it happens, it happens.
So my first thing that I said when I was asked, I said, if it happens, it happens. I wasn't gassed. I didn't say, oh, we get Vinny. Oh, we're going to pay for him. Oh, we're going to give him the number 7. We're going to strip Bukayo Saka. I said none of that. I wasn't even showing any excitement, because for me, from my basic analysis of the entire thing, I didn't think that, even though I wanted Vinny, like if you ask me as a person, who do you want? In fact, weeks before that stream, I had said I wanted Vinny. Like, that's who I want. I would rather go test for that and fail. And I said that categorically here, that I would rather my club tries and don't even get the player, but at least try it. So why would I be in that position and be gassed like I think we're going to get him? No. Of course, I'm just saying go try for the big boys. If you get them, fair enough. If you don't get them, you tried. I'm glad that you went and you tried to get a big player. And then somebody comes and tells me why you should not be happy just because you're in for a big player. Like what kind of, what is the, so the only time you can be happy is until you get the player? Like, I don't get it. So I think what needs to happen is clubs that get promoted from the championship should not be happy they're coming to the Premier League. Their fans should not, until they win the Premier League. If they don't win the Premier League, they have no right to be happy that they got promoted. If you don't finally get what the end goal is, you have no right to be. You should be unhappy the entire time. It's just like, it is so disingenuous and such a dumb place to like it is ridiculous. But anyways, let's carry on. This is what I said.
Objectively. I just want to hold on. Let me say, if it happens, it happens, right? Because again, this is what I said at the end of last season.
When the real Dio comes back, I'll come back on camera.
I said last season, like, when we win the Premier League, we need to start behaving like big boys. Again, if you notice, a few weeks ago I was on the stream and somebody asked me, who do you want in your left wing? And I said Vinnie. And they're like, oh, you're not good enough. Vinnie can't come to Arsenal. I said, that's not what, for me, I'm not even going to look at whether Vinnie wants to come to Arsenal or not. What I like that I read in David Ornstein's post was that it's been approved across all the boards in Arsenal. That means leadership, board, Berta.
Okay, let me address that again. So you heard what I said there. I said, what makes me happy is that my club,
it's been approved across all the boards in Arsenal.
Approved across all the board in Arsenal. Clearly stated. I wasn't speaking on behalf of Vinnie or Madrid. I didn't say anything about, oh yeah, I'm talking about how my club is operating, how Arsenal operates, that they've all decided and agreed on what they want to do. That for me tells me the ambition of my club. Now, will you get the player? That's a different conversation. After all, we saw even the biggest club, Real Madrid, go for Bayern Munich's Michael Olise. Did they get him? No. We saw big clubs like Barcelona go for Julian Alvarez, who they're still trying to battle for. Have they gotten him? No. So big clubs go for big players, and whether they get them or not is a different conversation. For you to say that I'm gassed when I was simply just saying, oh, I just like the way my club system is running now. They can actually agree without trying to come up with 2, 3, 25 billion options like they did last summer when one person wanted Gyökeres, one person wanted Sesko, and it was just a back and forth. And I'm like, look, we need a striker. Go get the one that fits us and let's agree and move on. So when I see my club agreeing together, saying, oh yeah, you know what, we're going to pick a player and that's who we're going to go for. You can plug any player into it. And that's what I said I was happy about, how my club is being run. But no, it's called selective. You want to choose what suits your narrative. To say, oh, Dyer said he was happy that his club is going for Vinnie. That's not what I said I was happy about. I said I was happy about how my club has been run internally. The way they've all agreed. The ownership did not say, oh, it's too much money. This person did not say, oh, I think his ego is too much. Like, they all looked at it and they all agreed. That is what makes me happy about how my club has been run. Now, will you get the player? That's a different conversation. And even in that conversation, I repeat, I said, I think Vinnie stays at Madrid. I said it in the stream. We're going to go down to that point of the stream. It's at 48 minutes. I said, I think Vinnie stays at Madrid. I repeated it again. I said, hey, but if there is an opportunity and a chance to go get the player and my club doesn't make any effort to try to at least attempt it, I'll be mad at my club. How can I be gassed when I'm saying I think it's a very small chance that the guy even comes to us? But all I'm saying is, hey, you know what? Go give it a shot. And then you say, oh, unless you get the player. You know why you want to narrow it down to that? And so then, after I'd said all of this, let's get to the video. Commentary FK comes up and makes this video where he says,
I have prepared a small, short, but precise list I possess in front of me here of certain names of men that were getting very excited and very giddy over just the potential of a Vinicius Junior transfer. Now, some will say, who am I to talk as a Liverpool fan, getting rejected by Diomande and Barcola not coming along, etc., with Mbappe and Bellingham in the past.
I just want to pause that real quick. A Liverpool fan who has experienced this before, who was excited about those players coming, and just because you didn't get them does not mean nothing. You had every right to be excited that you were linked to Bellingham and to Mbappe and to Diomande. You had every right to be excited, and I'm sure you were. But now you're making a list of people who you can put me in that list. I don't care. You've chosen to put me in the list anyways, to say, oh, I'm part of the people who were gassed, even though I was part of the people saying, hey, If it happens, it happens. I think my point is I just like the fact that my club is willing to tip their hat in the race and say, hey, let's try it out. Let's try it out. Yeah. I was not, at no point was I gassed according to you and this list. But listen to the list.
Blah blah. But I was never part of that crew that actually thought it was going to happen. So with that being said, the list. There it is.
I made number 3.
Let me read it.
I made number 3.
The names. You people are absolutely cooked. Hooks first and foremost. Yep.
And then I'm just going to skip to where he says Jay was correct.
Dio argued the reaction wasn't so extreme. I think people would be a little bit more calm about it.
I want you guys to listen to this.
Dio arguing with Jay. By the way, Jay is vindicated in all this. Shout out to Jay Andrew. Vindication 100%. Because the man said there's a link. Cool. You guys are talking like it's happening. Now I've
And we're now going to go back to the video where Jay and I were talking. I never talked like it was happening. What I said was I like what my club is trying to do. And if it happens, it happens. But you know what Jay did in that stream? Jay chose his own path to make it seem like I was so gassed. I was so excited that I was like, oh, we're going to get it. I never made those statements. I've never made that statement on any stream. Do I want the player? Yes. Is that the player that I would like to have on my club? Yes. Who would not? But at no point. So not only did, Commentary FK, not only did he watch that live stream, listen to Jay's opinion and understood that, but chose not to listen to mine to understand it. He just chose to respond and then back Jay up by saying, oh, Jay was correct because Jay said we were excited and gassed. And at no point in that stream, at no point on any stream have I been like, oh yeah, when Vinnie gets to Arsenal, he's going to cook all of you. In fact, during the stream, you guys can go watch that stream. It's on Don Hossam's channel. During the stream, when Jay asked me, he said, if you don't get him, what are you going to do? I said, I'll still win the league with solace. This was my stance. I said I would still win the league with solace. So all of this, now this didn't even get to me. I thought this was hilarious. I was like, you know what? Great stuff. I made number 3 on the list. And then today, right after our stream again today, where Jay brought it up again today on the stream, and I responded, I said, I think you still missed my entire point. My point is you can plug in any player. You can plug in anything the club wants to do at the end of that statement that I made, which is, I'm just glad that everybody can agree at my club, which means you can plug in that if we need to get a new set piece coach, we can all agree that we need to get one. That's how I want my club to operate. Right? Good. So then I see this one today. He says, Jay was right, Dio was still Jay was right again. And I'm like, hold on. Break it down to me.
I've just turned on A-listers and already Jay is giving the big one to Dio, pause, on the whole Vinnie Jr. because Dio was excited that Arsenal were linked to Vinnie Jr. even though he himself said he didn't think it was going to happen, but it was buzzing over the links. And
again, what was the buzz in the links? You see, this is the selective narrative that you want to create. You want to just make stuff up. That Dio was buzzing about the links to what. Go watch the stream again. I think you should stop taking, exceptions. Like don't just watch something for 10 seconds or 20 seconds. And because you agree with it and you like it, or you think you like what you're hearing, just run with it and make content. This is my issue with content creators. I don't do all these reaction videos to what people say or what people don't say. But once you bring my name into it, I will step up. That means you've called me. You've knocked on my door. You've asked me to open the door. I've opened the door, so you're welcome. At no point was I ever excited. I even said, look, if it's going to be, it's going to be. I just know one thing for sure. What gives me joy as an Arsenal fan is my club is on a track that is a trajectory upwards. And that tells me what the ambition is about. They can all agree on stuff. They can all move forward. But let's listen to everything.
Jay explained to him, how are you buzzing over links if it's not going to happen? Like, why would you waste your time in that aspect?
If you ask any one of them to bring out a clip where I was buzzing, oh, we're going to get Vinnie. Guess what, man? Vinnie's coming to Arsenal. If you ask anyone of them to pull up any of those clips, they'll never find it because there's none. I put it to you right now. I want you to go out there. I want you to go do your research on every stream I've been on. If you're looking for a clip where I said I like Vinnie and I want Vinnie, yes, you'll find a clip where I said, you know what? I really like Vinnie and I want Vinnie to come to Arsenal. That's what I want. When I'm asked what I think my club will do, I'm like, hey, I don't know if it's going to happen because Madrid is a big club and it's going to be a difficult deal to do. I've always said that. So how am I being gassed? Or you just like the narrative just because it helps you to create more stuff, just to be able to just sit there and say somebody is being gassed when they're not being gassed. And when they're actually saying that they're happy about something else, but you just want to spin the narrative and say, oh, well, you don't want to address the fact that I'm talking about Arsenal. Because even in that stream, when Martin asked me a question about Vinnie, I said I can't speak on behalf of Vinnie. I can speak on behalf of Arsenal that I love, my club that I love so much that, oh, you know what, they've all agreed and that's a good thing. So we'll wait. If the opportunity arises, I use those words specifically over and over. If there is a chance, I use those words specifically over and over. At no point did any one of his videos refer to that. He just kept on saying, Jay said Dyer was gassed. And even Jay can't pull out a video anywhere where I said, oh, Vinny coming to Arsenal. Vinny's going to dunk on you. Oh, we're getting Vinny. Vinny wants Arsenal. I clarified all of that in the stream. So let's go back to that stream where we were talking about it.
That means leadership, board, Berta, Arteta, backroom staff, every single one of them have said yes. This is a viable thing. We can do it. Which means that they know what he wants to earn. They know what the cost is, and they've agreed to do it. And so when people say, "Oh, maybe Arsenal will not be able to afford it," blah blah blah, I'm like, nah. These same ownership here are paying their quarterback at the Rams here in the US 40 million a year. What Vinny is asking for. The same ownership. Why can't they do it at Arsenal?
Good. And if anybody sees that all I've addressed here is Arsenal's ownership and the fact that they're in agreement, the fact that they're willing to pay money, the fact that they can afford the money, and at no point have I said we getting Vinny. But I'm talking about my club and I'm saying, well, they're prepared if the chance arises. They can afford the money. They do it already in other franchises that they own where they pay big players. So why can't they try and do it at Arsenal? All right, so now I'm going to go to the second stamp, which is at the 48-minute mark here, where I think it was 48:53 where we were talking. And if I'm not mistaken, let me go back here. Yeah, boom.
For a month and a half.
I want you guys to listen to this part too.
I have never said in anything that I said all evening here. I've not said, oh, Vinny wants to come to Arsenal. I'm happy, Vinny. I said, no, I'm just happy that my club is now behaving. Hey, stop, let me finish. Is behaving the way they should behave. Go for it. And if you get turned down, and I said, if you get turned down, I would prefer you to get turned down, knowing that you're going for the biggest things. If there's an opportunity and you don't go for it, I'll be mad at my club. Like you had a chance to even ask, even if it's 1% chance.
So should Flawless be happy that his club went after Elliot Anderson, even though.
So you can all see here what I said. Go for it. If you get turned down, good. What will piss me off is if there's any opportunity and my club chooses not to even try at all. Not to try at all. That in itself is annoying. Get turned down. Step into the ring. That's how you show that you want to play on the big stage. And if I can't be happy that my club wants to play on the big stage, what else should I be happy about? Right? You policing emotions and then somebody else coming up and saying, oh yeah, someone is right. It's not about me being right or wrong. It's about misjudging or intentionally misconstruing what it is that I was saying. Because you clearly, everybody else, Flawless, everybody else on the panel, Hussam, Flawless were like, Dyer hasn't said anything wild. Because all I said was, hey, if this thing is going to happen, it's going to happen. But I don't want to address that because I think it's a difficult thing to, unravel. But what I like from the tweet that I saw from David Ornstein is, at Arsenal, they have agreed internally across the board. That is something that my club doesn't do regularly on a lot of things. Internally, like agree across the board for every single person on board. And because that's happened, I'm like, that in itself, that action, that method of running the business, that method of running the club makes me happy. Now, getting the player, different conversation. What do I think? I think he stays at Madrid. I think it's a difficult deal that is going to happen. I said all of that in that stream. But yeah, Commentary FK chose not to watch the entire stream. And even if he did, he just watched the part that Jay spoke in. Because that's the way it's come across now. Because you made 2 videos now mentioning my name, Commentary FK, as regards to this Vinny thing. So I just had to respond. The whole Vinny thing, I don't care who you plug in at the end of it. I don't care which player you plug in. I care how Arsenal is run as a club. I care if the club, if there's no infighting between the sporting director and the manager on, oh, maybe Arteta saying I don't want him because of ego, and Berta saying we need him because of this. You know, like I want general agreement. Half the time we've heard, this is why, again, this Vinny thing was funny for me, because we've heard over the last 2 seasons how the press talk about how Arteta loves Atletico Madrid, Julian Alvarez. Arteta loves Julian Alvarez. He's worked with him before, so he loves him. He really wants him. Arteta really wants him. So when Vinny's stuff came up as an opportunity and they said the club was like agreed across the board, I was a little shocked as well. I was like, I know from all the hype that said Arteta is, obsessed with Julian Alvarez, and all of a sudden now he's in agreement with getting Vinny. Again, Vinny is a top player. You would want to get him. But my thing was, oh, that's good for my club to be able to agree, right? And then on the Vinny thing, I already cleared that up. I said it's going to be a tough deal. I think he stays at Madrid. But if there's an opportunity, still go for it. I'd rather you go and get turned down than not go at all. You know, Liverpool went for Diomande. They got turned down. PSG went for Diomande. PSG, current Champions League winners. And Diomande eventually turned them down for Madrid. Right? Madrid went for Rodri. There's rumors that he's going to Barcelona now. So whether clubs get turned down, but you're telling fans to not get excited about how their club is being run. You're telling fans that they should not get excited by being linked to like big players. You're saying, oh yeah, until it's done, like what are we doing here? But there's one statement that he made, which I think, of everything that he said, he was very right here. I'm gonna go to this part of the video here. There's one statement that he made, which I think, he was probably right here. Here he says,
you men are finished, blah blah blah, but they weren't the ones doing the most. This is how it goes. Maybe they got a little bit giddy as well, but they weren't the ones doing the most. However, the way you win everything, and Vinny's gonna go there onto other targets.
So I want to quote this here. Listen.
The way you lot all carried on, the way it was said it was gonna happen, this is bad luck.
Listen to this.
All carried on.
The way you
it was said it was going to happen. This is it. It's game over. Arsenal are going to win everything. And
at what point did you ever hear me say any of the things that you just quoted out of your mouth? Vinny's going to come to Arsenal. We're going to win everything. Yeah, we're the movers and the shakers. I could coach you right now. Listen to this.
The way it was said it was going to happen. This is it. It's game over. Arsenal are going to win everything. And Vinny's going to go there. And the Champions League and the Premier League's going to come back and all that sort of stuff there. What now?
At no point did I ever speak about Vinny like that. So what you've done is you've run with Jay's conclusion that he made up in his own head while we were having the live stream. And you've run with it and you made content out of it. And you basically, I'll call you out for it. I want you to go find the clips where I said, Vinny's going to come to Arsenal. It's game over. We're going to win everything. I want you to go find me those clips because I'm showing you the clips of what I said. Right?
You got to move on.
The one thing that he did say that I think he's correct in, listen.
The whole thing from the beginning. There's a link. Sure. How serious is that link? Is it a guarantee you're going to get this player? And the people that were doing the most, Vinny, Arsenal. However, I don't know. Maybe we just been brainwashed. Vinny.
Listen to this.
It was Man City. You'll be saying blah blah blah. I think if Vinny to Man City was actually on the cards, that's more believable.
You hear that? If Vinny to Man City was on the card, that's more believable. Fair enough. First statement, everybody has their own opinion. But listen.
Man City was actually on the cards. That's more believable. Vinny to Arsenal, however, I don't know. Maybe we just been brainwashed or programmed to think that nothing can be done in terms of Arsenal's favour. But back to point.
Listen to this. I want you guys to hear this very well.
I don't know. Maybe we just been brainwashed or programmed to think that.
Yeah, that's what it is, because you've been brainwashed and programmed to believe anything negative that you want to hear about Arsenal and Arsenal fans. Even when they don't say it, you back it up with making videos like this. You definitely have been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed to believe anything, any negative thing. In fact, when an Arsenal fan is even being reasonable and saying, hey, I don't know if this is going to happen, I'm thinking this and this, you tell them, don't be gassed. Don't be gassed. And the person like, I'm not being gassed. I'm just letting you know that I don't think it's going to happen, but I like what my club is doing. I like the fact that, you know, two things can be true. I can be happy that my club is going in for a big player because that's what you need to do to be able to go to the next level. And I can also say, I don't know if that player is going to come to me, but that's a different conversation that we can have. So to sit there and say, you're doing too much, and then the things you even quoted, Vinny's going to come to Arsenal, then we're going to win the Premier League and it's over, and we're going to win the Champions League. At no point did I say that. And if there's any stream or anything where we even had those conversations where we're joking about it, where people were laughing and saying, oh, well, what do you think you would win if Vinny came over? And I'm like, that's a hypothetical. If Vinny did come over, then I do think that we would be able to win a lot more because he's a top player. But what do I think will happen realistically, not the if, buts, and maybes, is the fact that I think it's going to be a difficult deal and Vinny wants to stay at Madrid. And the only time that deal can happen is if he and Madrid, their relationship fully breaks down. Which I don't think will happen, because if it was going to break down, it's been over a year of negotiations. It should have broken down since. It hasn't broken down. So I don't think it's going to break down now in a week. And I said this on many streams. So for you to come here and quote me wrongly and then make a video about it and then watch the next episode again and still not listen to understand what it is that I was saying, but just chose to listen to respond. I made a video on your way home while driving and saying all kinds of, oh yeah, that blah, blah, blah. Nah, you're right. This, of everything that you said, this is the part where I will tell you that you're right.
I don't know, however, was actually on the cards. That's more believable.
The City more believable. I hear you. That's your opinion.
I don't know. Maybe we just.
Now look at this. See, listen to this. Vinny to City, more believable. Vinny to Arsenal, I don't know. Why don't you know? You know why you don't know? Because the truth is, you know now that Arsenal is up here. That Arsenal has come up. And it's so hard for you to say it. It's just hard for you to say it. Hence why you can't even pinpoint. And for City, you use the word believable. Vinny to City, believable. You had something for that one. Vinny to Arsenal, I don't know. Yeah, I know why you don't know, because why? You answered it yourself right here.
Just been brainwashed or programmed to think that no one.
You have been brainwashed? You've been programmed.
Done in terms of Arsenal's favour. But
yes, you have been. You have been. And I'm glad you realized it. I'm glad you realized at the end of the video. So yeah, next time you're going to make a video with my name, please make sure that you check the facts. Yes, I know I say a lot of things, but this Vinny one, I know what I said. If you want to call me out on any other thing that I've said in the past, yes, I'll own it. But this Vinny one, nah. I'm not gonna let you fly with it. I was gonna let the one video fly, but as soon as I saw that second short, I was like, nah, okay, now it's become a thing where you just want the smoke. That's what it's become. You just want to make stuff up and assume that it's not going to be called out. No, I'll call it out. All right, you guys. Thanks you guys for watching.